Thank you, Mr. Meadows. Mr. Rooney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ambassador, you know, you paint a very bleak picture, and what we've talked about here today and the testimony you've given. I mean, we talk about a government that has lost control of its military from time to time, an opposition that's gone, a government that's raided humanitarian and food aid from this country, of which I sit on the committee which helps appropriate that money, which is why it's concerning to me. But as a Catholic, it's also concerning to me that, you know, that this would happen in this day and age, that we as Americans wouldn't be able to do anything about it. And the only thing it seems like that you've said that we have leverage to use is this arms embargo. And we keep threatening to use it, but we never really get there. And then I just noticed that maybe it might be a political thing to say, if we use an arms embargo, then we're admitting some kind of failure as a government. I hope that's not the case. I hope that it's a sincere ploy or a sincere intention of this government to use an arms embargo, because guess what? What can it hurt if we actually do it? If this guy controls the government, there is no opposition. He's used the term over-militarization. You use that term. If that's true, and the only thing that we can control is how much militarization is in that country, then what can it hurt if the United States does take the lead to say that enough is enough? We've got diplomatic envoys being shot at. We've got all kinds of crimes that we've talked about against its own citizenry. We've got humanitarian aid and food being seized upon. We've got the opposition has fled. We've got a government that's lost control of its own military. And we keep threatening to use this arms embargo as if it's something that, well, you know, maybe if we say this one more time, we'll put this security force in there of 4,000 people, which I got to be quite honest with you, I don't think they're going to do anything. I think that this is just going to keep going on, and we're going to be right back here again at the next hearing talking about how this has failed, but we might use an arms embargo again. I just want to know, what will it hurt if we do it? I mean, is it an admission by the administration that we failed in South Sudan? Is that the problem?
Well, Congressman, as I've said, it's a major tool, and to be effective, it has to be done multilaterally, not bilaterally.
Why? Just do it. Just use the United States as the leader of the free world and do it, and other people will follow. Who cares if it's unilateral? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. We build coalitions all the time, and people follow us because we're the #1 country in the world. We're the sole superpower.
Right, and because it is such an important tool, we have used it effectively, and we think we're using it effectively now to leverage a way forward for South Sudan to get it back to a path of peace and political dialogue.
Do you believe that? Do you believe that we're going to create this space in Juba, like you say, and there's going to be elections and a political process and a constitution and all that? Do you really believe that, unless we do something affirmative?
Well, the something affirmative we're trying to do is we're trying to get this force on the ground and get Juba to be demilitarized. And this is the leverage we're using to try to get there. Now, the South Sudanese may very well not cooperate with this, in which case, as I've said, we are prepared to move forward on that, as well as potentially other sanctions. So,
okay, I hope we do.
Frustration level is, we share it.
No, hey, you're on the front line, so I mean, I appreciate your service. I just don't believe that any of this stuff is going to work anymore. I don't think that the security force is going to work. I think that we need to move forward with an arms embargo now and stop as much bloodshed and killing as we can, and protect the food and humanitarian aid that Mr. Meadows talked about getting in there by however means we need to figure out how to do that, because I think that's the only thing that's left to do, is to help the people that are starving and being oppressed. But, you know, trying to talk about elections and that kind of stuff, I don't buy it. I yield back.
Thank you, Mr. Rooney.